Hello, and welcome back to Doomvale. Been a lot of changes since we've last looked at this whole build of the game together, but there's been a lot of work done to it. A lot of textures, refining of composition, and yeah, we'll dive straight into it. So, that's the level. Time for a walkthrough. Let's go. So, let's get this nice, get this full screen. Lovely bit of full screen, bit of a hiccup. Let's let that catch up. That nice and smooth. There we go. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so starting off, the modular kit has been jumped right into hybrid from the macro blockouts. We've got a nice boundary to the top and the bottom. Got some lovely bricks for the stairs. We have more of Ellis's textures brought in, nice and lovely. He's got a organised version of these stone bricks, which after discussing with him, he's going to do a newer version which has the large cracks taken out because they are very similar to the wall, and it will take it away from being similar. And on top of that, I've recolored it in engine, and then we're going to put some grunge maps on it. And we can use that for the hallways, and then the wooden planks for the rooms. And I could even possibly make further textures by using his trim sheet in combination with the tiling textures after a bit more time, as I've just put everything in the past few days, and then I've been focusing on other things, but that's besides the point. With the post-process volume, a lot of changes. So originally it was on infinite extent, and infinite extent, if you don't know, which in a game sense it's beneficial to know, is that it negatively affects performance. So if you want it to be optimized, don't put it to that, just scale it to the whole level, and that's what I've done in this level and in the other level too. There is also a light mass importance volume, and the lighting is all built, so everything's a lot more optimized. It's the first time I've really gone through and done this stuff, but just a bit of side research I've done to help the game performance hold up, considering we've got a lot of particle effects and spells. I feel like that would really dampen the performance going forward in the game. But go forward anyway. We've got we've got shield, a sword, got the assets in. Go a bit creative. Put it on the wall. So instead of why only use it as a weapon and a shield that you can use in combat when you can look at it as a decorational piece? Looks lovely, right? Also put some rec lights in that other room. You can see just in the corner the tinge of bluish colour. That's just like a highlight of ambience to kind of slap in. Just a little similarity to Medieval's lighting, which I've gone towards in one of my last modules, and I'm going to implement in some way here too. Because I've just gone through experimenting a lot recently with lighting and post-processing. So I'll go through some of the new things with the post-processing actually in a second when I get around to the area, but I'm just gonna in the meantime walk through, show you the level. You can see how everything's developed with the new assets, with the new textures and composition. So we've got little knives on the table, like someone's had a little brawl, kicked it down, and someone's had a little bit of target practice here as well. Shame we don't have a test dummy, but that's all good. Probably get a sheet of paper. There is a chest here as well, which we'll be able to get something out of, but this bow rack kind of blocks it. I can tweak that a little bit, move it out of the way. But I do really like how the lighting moves here. I don't know, it's a bit satisfying to me. Ooh, very cool, right? Yeah, we'll go down, have a little look at these other areas here, and then we'll go to the top of the map. So you've got the enemy spawn here, not much to say there. We've also got the portal door again, with the door frame, with the door knocked on the floor. How about that? And not too much of a change with the alchemy room. I do have Rochelle's potion bottles, which I've added in very recently into Engine. I just need to place them inside of the brewery room, and I will do very soon. Just been hampered with other work and fixing a lot of other issues with this level. Probably more than, well, most of it is undocumented. There's a lot of back and forth with things, like conflictions and so on. But we shall move forward and see the new changes. So going in this room, we have a wacky looking post-process effect. That's going to be adjusted because Ellis isn't too fond of it. I'm kind of like iffy too. It has a ghost sort of effect, ghostly, negative zone visual to it, but it's very high contrasting, so that'll be tweaked. I think we'll move on from that. Got the same sort of issue or visual in the catacombs too, but there's other changes that I've made on top of that I do want to mention. So when we're in this little area, ignoring the blue, which I think is leaking from this light and being carried through this fog volume, I've added a chromatic aberration, so you can see some distortion and colour, and the vignette has been increased so it closes in more, and then the AO contrast, the intensity of the AO overall is increased as well. So that gives it gives more of a claustrophobic feeling to the player and adds a high contrast, striking visual difference when you go into this room compared to the other rooms. There is a few more assets like the actual catacomb walls themselves, and then you've got the corner staircase. This little platform which you jump up to, I will swap some assets out, because I focus a lot on the other rooms and getting them set up and reorganised. But don't worry, the flooring will not be wood all the way through the dungeon. No way, Jose. I do not like that either, don't you worry. I can already hear somebody saying that. But we will move forward. So we'll go round into the library, which the lighting is lacking a little bit after changing a lot of other things, and then now looking at it, that will be sorted. Point lights on the floor, just as a side note, will be candles. We don't have a candle asset just yet, so right now they're just glowing nothingness, but you know, that's a side note. Going down here, we have a little staff that's going in the direction of the door, and this whole thing will come down, and I'll get rid of these pillars. I'm just going to change out the assets really, but going through here is where you'll get the red key. So one of the 3 keys which will allow you to fight the boss. Awesome. And I think we've more or less gone through the whole dungeon, so I'm going to exit playing it, and I'm going to touch on a few other things which I can't access just by flying through the level. I'll give that a moment to catch up. There we go. So I've got a purple highlight over here with this little area here. I was just thinking this could kind of draw the player in that direction, then you see the red sort of light here of the key. I think for ambient highlight, for the ambient highlights, the colour highlights that will go on the top of the walls, it'll definitely be like a gothic, well, it'll definitely be a pastel colour. So that'll lean towards the medieval art style of the pastel colours of lighting and the gothic visuals through the assets and textures themselves. this little area which you couldn't access. So, as a quick side note, originally this door was going to be a portal thingy. So once you get all the keys, you're like, right, I'm going to go through this Dark Souls-esque door and fight the boss, yay. But you don't. Instead, you'll go through it and you'll enter another room, which then take you to a staircase to drop you into the portal. So it's just like a little extra step, you know, a little build up. But then as you're walking through up the steps, the game desaturates, turns black and white. So I thought that'd be a very cool stylistic kind of effect. So as you're walking through, like, you're able to see the red portal from the camera view. From, like, say when your character's here, you're able to see it, but then as you walk along, the game will gradually desaturate, going across. But that's everything. I'm not going to yappy up too much. That's everything that I've wanted to cover, more or less. Another thing is that the different size tiles of the floor, that's been completely changed. They're all the same size now. I think I probably will have I probably will go back and change it in some areas for when I'm doing like more unique textures of the floors. So if I'm doing like trimmed like flooring and stuff. But at the moment it's just all been set to large for consistency. But yeah, that's everything. Thank you for your time.